Welcome back to FFB Amigos, and today another 3 points, 5 goals, and Chelsea have won their last match of the group stages or the league stages or whatever we call it now in the UEFA Conference League. But we're through, we're first, record still being set, and all this matters about the Conference League, like I've been telling you guys. I'll share it up here. Let me see if I can find it for you. But the coefficient of the UEFA games actually matters. When in Europe, every when you're in the tournaments, they measure your performance on all European cups, and that is used for seeding or choosing sort of if you're the leader of a group or who you play against in other tournaments and other stages. I'll bring it up there, but like I said, for all future competitions leading to easier group stages and qualification rounds in all tournaments. So it all counts, and it's fantastic that we're able to pull this off with our cup team. Now, in this game, before we started, apparently we have played Shamrock Rovers before. It was in 1935, a rare encounter for these two teams. Today, also another thing is apparently we've shared 6 players. 6 Chelsea players have also been Shamrock players, and one of the beauties, one of my favorite, some of us folks that are a little bit older, one of my favorite players that came in from the Ranieri, like before Mourinho era, all into the now era. One of the greats to me, one of those cult favorites, Damien Duff. What a great little winger. What a great player. So excited to see that. So the game starts out. Let me see if I can bring up what the formation was. But Chelsea start the match with Dizazi as the main, because yes, it's a line of 4, but we know that we play with a line of 3 in real life when the game gets going and we're attacking. And a Champong taking on that Champong. I love this kid. He's taking on that right center back role, which I love. Dizazi, the main man in the middle. Vega, the left side, which I'm not a fan of. Cucurella gladly got a lot of minutes. And I say gladly because I think that having that players like that in this match really help us make sure that we get the result. Sometimes I feel the game can sort of get out of our hands. The goal's not going in. It's a little tricky. But having that elite level of player, couple that we had on the field, like him, Madueke, and Kunku, although I don't think he had a great match. But having them in the side, like Dizazi in the back, gives us, at this level of competition, a lot of strength that was necessary. Anyway, Cucurella doing his normal thing. Cassidy playing what I call the Caicedo role. Drewsbury Hall, obviously in this kind of game, like sometimes when we're attacking, we leave Caicedo or Lavia alone. Drewsbury Hall a little bit further up the field, and Kunku filling the 10. Madueke on the right, Tyreek George on the left, and the beast, Mark Guiu. We'll get into that player a little bit, but that's how we lined up. And then supposedly they were in a 3-5-2, as you can see here for Shamrock, but in reality, as many teams now against Chelsea, they just played a low block. It really was 10 players in their own area most of the time, and very hard for them to counterattack, although they were able to put together a couple of interesting attacks. Credit to them during the game. Now, in the first 8 minutes, Chelsea takes, corners to the first post. So I've been criticizing these corners to the first post, and not because I think a corner to the first post is a bad idea. It's just they haven't been working out really well, and apparently both teams are doing it. However, one worked. There was a flick back, and Nkunku was taking them really well. So did Drewsbury Hall. I think we saw, aside from, I actually think they were very well taken. So we saw, I guess the intention is the flick, and all these other missed up ones that we've seen in the Prem, and I don't feel we're taking advantage of the set pieces, particularly corners. Looks like that's the intention, but I don't know why that's not working out. Of course, lesser opposition, I get it. So by the 10th minute, Chelsea takes control of the game. It was a little iffy at first, but we take control of the game, and Tyreek, George, and Madueke are creating a mess for these guys on the wings. But nobody, and they're putting in nice crosses, which I'm starting to see a lot of nice crosses on both Chelsea teams, but especially in the Cup team. I'd like to see that more in the Prem. and they're coming in some decent crosses, but nobody I think has the correct run. So it's a little bit of both. They need to probably be more cognizant of the runs that people are doing into the box, as well as the runners making the runs for those diagonal crosses that are coming in from both sides. A great pass. So Champong, what a great match. Champong, he ended up playing in two positions as the right center back, and then when Dizazi leaves, he ends up being the main man, the main center back, and really well. When he was playing the right center back, man, he broke lines several times. Now he was able to carry the ball forward, finding even a couple of really aggressive advanced passes, carrying the ball beyond midfield, breaking the press, breaking lines, which scared me honestly a couple of times. But the kid managed amazingly. On a minute 14, we see a big chance for Shamrock, which made me a little bit nervous, so kind of a warning sign. And minute 16, Madueke fluffs a good cross and produces a weak finish. Madueke has this tendency sometimes to take shots. He finds himself obviously as a winger in like weird angles, and sometimes he takes shots that he shouldn't take because there's no angle. That one he had to take, even though it was a weird angle, but he fluffs it a little bit. He sort of hits it with the bottom of his cleats, and not a good shot. Minute 22, Shamrock makes a tremendous mistake, and Mark Guiu proving he's very instinctive number 9, guys. I love this guy. I don't know why people they're a little hard on him. They forget he's 18 years old, mate. Where the hell was Jackson when he was 18? You know what I mean? This is a striker from La Masia, a number 9, great school, great training, great upbringing. La Cantera de La Masia. So he is, as a young player, he came through great training, and he's receiving great training in Chelsea. And he's got the stature, the look, the run, and the shape of a proper number 9. Fox in the box, and he proved it in spades this game. But definitely they make a mistake, and he forces part of that mistake really, and puts up that number 9. And then we do some poor defending on a corner just a couple of minutes later, and boom, 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 scores on us. Dude from Estonia, and as always, you freak out. I shouldn't, but I freak out, right? Oh my God, they're tying the game. And I'm glad that we had, like I said, a couple of these veteran players in the match, because I think that's what carries us over. In any case, that leads to them scoring their 1-1. Guiu again presses brilliantly and takes advantage of a defensive mistake. And again, this time he clears the keeper, and from a pretty tight angle, he's able to restore the Chelsea lead less than 10 minutes later. I think it's like 8 minutes later. So we can breathe again. And then again, just I would say 2 minutes later, Guiu presses again and managed to steal the ball from the keeper, which could have been a foul. They didn't, call it. But he was a little aggressive with the keeper, but pulls it off. And then is just left with a too narrow, tight angle, and I think he hits the post. Looks like he hits the outside of the post, and the ball goes out. But that could have been like a very fast hat trick for him. In any case, minute 39, Nkunku causing trouble. I don't think he had a great game. He caused trouble, but at this level, you would have expected him to score. He was kind of a nuisance to their defense. I think they marked him closely, probably the most. I would say, to close him down and sort of try to stop our creation. But obviously, that's what left space for our wingers, and we were able to beat him up on the wings. But he sort of, I don't know if he's taken down or he crashes into a defender. The ball comes back, and Drewsbury Hall, I lost my thrill on Blueberry Hill. They call him Blueberry Hill. Drewsbury Hall slots it in nicely, and now we're all breathing easy. We have a 3-1 lead. And then minute 45, another thing that I mentioned that guys that I've been liking, two things that I mentioned on this goal that I like. those crosses that are starting to come in from Noni, and we saw a couple from George today as well. We saw it in the game against in the last game where Cucurella scores a wonderful header. This time, a number nine doing what number nines do, and a winger doing what a winger does, especially when one that is a left-footed player on a right-hand side, quickly cuts in, crosses the ball in sweetly, and Mark Guiu is able to finish in a wonderful fashion, completing his hat trick, which is so exciting for the young man. The second half, man, just like the last Conference League game, we take the foot off the gas. However, there's another goal. Now, last game, Cucurella scores with a header. Now he scores a stunning golazo. Yeah, it always feels more like a golazo when they score and it hits the post and it comes in, right, guys? And he hits it on his weak foot, but like world class finishing, impossible goal for the goalie. It was a wonderful play, really quick passing, stunning goal by Cucurella. But the team passed really quickly, advanced the ball, and world class finish. And then hat-trick hero Mark Guiu is taken off the field. Comes in Joao Felix. My note and also Dizazi makes way for Murray Campbell. That's what I told you that I like. Now we saw a Champon, which again, high praise for the young man. Now takes over that, so we didn't see him pushing up the field anymore because now he's taking the main responsibility as the last man defending the Chelsea defense in the middle as main center back, which he did a good job. So I'd like to see that. So Murray Campbell comes in and sort of takes that right-hand slide. A Champon slots in the middle, Dizazi out, and Mark Guiu leaves, making room for Joao Felix. And Joao Felix showed what Joao Felix always shows. He's amazing. He reminds me for 10% of the time of Kaká, in the sense that he breaks lines and transitions and carries the ball beautifully, and then misses the shot, and then fluffs the goal. And then, I don't know. It's like the story of his life. And I don't know if more minutes is ever going to change that for him. But I really like what I see. I really like what I see when, in his creative and his touch, and he's so fun to watch. Sometimes I think he'd be like in one of those indoor soccer, like he'd be a beast at that. He's very good in short spaces, very hard to press and very hard to take the ball away from him. But man's got to finish. Man's got a better shot. And I think that desperation starts to come through, and we've seen it in other teams that it's happened to him, and we saw it today where he just puts too much power in the two shots that I saw him miss, especially one, unnecessarily, and leads to missing. When one of them he could have even passed the ball. But anyway, I get it. And then in minute 85, Chelsea's slowing down. Is in the other match it happened, and it's just starting to get boring, to be honest. But we have the results, so who cares? Then Drewsbury Hall is subbed off for somebody that I wish I would have seen a lot more of. Sam Raksaki. I really wish I would have seen him earlier because he looks so comfortable. He looks so confident. I think Cassidy did a good job too. I mean, he probably screwed up a couple of balls here and there, but in that sort of position. But I think Raksaki, maybe it's just the vibes he gives me, but he seems like very authoritative and confident in transitioning and moving the ball along in that position. I really hope we see more of that young man. Then in minute 86, Tyreek George creates a great chance for himself. But again, one of these things that youngsters need to improve. You'll see that he has an opportunity on his right side. The first time, that's when he needed to take it. He already did the hard part. He should have smacked the ball in, but decides to cut in back now onto his left leg and then take the shot, giving time for the defense and the keeper to adjust, leading to him missing the goal. So that's the kind of little fine-tuning that these young players need to go into. Again, very exciting. So happy to see the young players getting minutes. This is a very special season because of that, and I'll give them an opportunity to grow. It's not going to be the case next year when I am confident we will be in the Champions League, and I hope they really, really grow from it. I'm really excited about that. I did see Harvey Vale come in as well. And that's a guy, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm a real Chelsea fan. I watch the under 23s, the Chelsea Unseen, everything on the app. Whenever, I'm not saying all the time, every game, but whenever I get a chance, because I want to keep an eye on these Cobham boys. And Vale was one that has always had a lot of promise. But when I've seen him come in, he hasn't been that strong. He's already in the under 23s. So I'm hoping he gets more minutes. And let's see, because he did really well in the younger teams. So let's see what he's got to prove. In any case, we make it through, obviously well seated, improving our coefficient, marking goals. I think setting standards. We'll have to see what records that we're setting. And we're ready and moving on and preparing for our game on the weekend, where we sadly, I think it really hurts us to not have Cucurella. But Everton should be the kind of team that we can simply eat up and tear up in this run to 10 games, as I said in March when we faced Manchester City, which I think that's the challenge that we are facing. Once we're past that challenge, I think we are in title contending shape. In any case, please tell me in your comments below, who do you think was the most important player? And I mean out of the youngsters or the B team, not the obvious guys that are going to play in the main team. In other words, anybody from this team that you think has a shot at making the first team, which reminds me, Jorgensen. I didn't mention it because he didn't start much, but he had a couple of great saves. One amazing save, actually, and you guys know that I really like him. But other than that, please let me know in the comments. And as always, I'm working hard to make better content for you every day and follow our beloved Chelsea and keep you up to date. And for all the Blues and everybody in the team, as always, come on, you Blues.